For the last 6 years, the Dark Blues of Oxford have known only the pain of defeat in the moments following the end of the women's boat race. And before this year's duel with Cambridge, there burned an unspoken but intense desire to put to an end one of the longest losing sequences in the 71-year history of the fixture.
Let's make sure we get everything right first time, okay?
Fueling that desire was British Olympian Ben Hunt-Davis, the Oxford coach, who admits it's not easy catching up with Cambridge at present.
They seem to be able to find all sorts of extremely tall, strong girls in the university, which Oxford somehow we don't manage to find. And they've got a really good system, which we've been trying to build up, but it hasn't really worked yet.
Are you saying that they take it a little more seriously?
No, they don't take it more seriously. They've just got the means they've got at their disposal are a bit better than us, really. And that's what we're really trying to put right.
In the Oxford crew are 3 survivors from last year's Blue Boat and who are itching to get back on the water for a rematch. How much rivalry do you feel at this present moment?
Huge, absolutely huge. There are a few old Blues from last year's crew back, so absolutely huge rivalry, yeah.
What is the root of it? Can you explain
it? I think it's because we just train for one race, and it's 7 months of really hard training, all for one 6.5-minute race, and you've only got one chance to prove yourself.
Quiet, focused and intense, the Dark Blues head out onto Henley Reach for their last outing before the big day. Meanwhile, at the house where Cambridge have spent the last week together, their preparations are complete and a little pre-race indulgence is permitted.
Everything stops for tea.
Food colouring, surely the ultimate in light blue bonding.
In my first year, everything was blue, and they had things you would normally have for tea, like we had cream and everything, just so they could colour it blue, and I stirred it into the orange juice. That didn't look so good when we tried it the other day. It went green.
Even a broken arm must sport the colours. Lucy de las Casas from Norfolk damaged it, all in the line of duty though.
I got knocked off my bike when I was going to the boathouse one morning and fell on my wrist.
And when was that?
Oh, it must have been about 2 months ago now. Yeah, and then I was rowing for it for three weeks with it broken without realising it was actually broken. And then I finally got to the hospital and they said it was fractured. So having done that, I wasn't really going to give up then.
For Lucy and her colleagues, a 7th successive victory would be the icing on the Cambridge cake. But their coach, Ron Needs, has warned about complacency.
During the year, you try to keep a balance between confidence and humility, if you like. And it's not difficult when you're coaching someone. You can show them where they're going wrong in a positive way, but make it jolly clear that they've got to improve if they're going to win.
By Sunday afternoon, the residents of Henley Reach had been joined by thousands of visitors lining the towpath along the 2,000 metres course, all ready for 3 o'clock.
Attention! Go!
Cambridge, on the Buckinghamshire station nearest the camera, are renowned for their powerful start. And although the Dark Blues of Oxford matched them with a striking rate of 44, they must have been slightly shocked to find themselves down by a canvas within just a few strokes. It was the perfect lift for Cambridge, who had been hoping to forge ahead much later in the race at around 500 metres. By the time the crews could hear the large crowds 5 deep on the bank outside the Remenham Club, Cambridge, now stroking 36, had established a 3/4 of a length advantage. But they were beginning to steer a little too close to the Dark Blues for the umpire's comfort. At the mile marker, Fred Smallbone, in charge of his 4th women's boat race, warned Cox Brad Parr for his steering. And indeed, had to do so again moments later. But by Folly Boathouse at halfway, Cambridge were still ahead. But a spirited Oxford turned on the power, upping their rate of striking to 37 and looking sharper, although crucially unable to see the Cambridge boat ahead of them. The Light Blues, with the psychological upper hand, were watching their rivals struggling behind, and urged on by their Canadian cocks, themselves increased their strike rate to 38 for a last push to see off their rivals. And there was clear water separating the 2 crews as they passed the barrier and approached the island, leaving the last remaining spectators watching from the bank. Then came the last few painful strokes towards the finish marker. And it's Cambridge, a winning margin of 4 seconds, 1 1/4 boat lengths, a magnificent 7 in succession for them, but for Oxford those all too familiar feelings of exhaustion and defeat. A supreme effort by both crews, who've trained twice a day for 6 months to experience the two extremes of emotion that the winning and losing of this race generates. As for the rewards, a ducking for the cocks, of course, and on this occasion for Cat Astley, the Cambridge president. She may also be the stroke, but that guarantees nothing about the state of her front crawl, as we were about to find out. Well, you had a marvellous day for it, and the two of you got very, very wet indeed.
It must have rained somewhere.
Yeah, it must have done, yeah. What's the plans now, ladies and gents?
Well, they're going to get some exams passed, that's the most important.
But you can take it as read that a trip to the library was something that could wait till next morning.